you do not know. It would be something like the lights which are burning in the dense forest to guide thousands of lives. They are not aware of it. It's a tremendous task, and when you have such a big load on your mind, how can you sleep? You are carrying their loads also. We'll be sleeping very well. But first, we must know we have a big load. Just think of the people who are still nowhere near Sahaja and still are committing mistakes after mistakes. When are they going to come round? Only through your channels I can clear them. Because as far as I am concerned, I am absolutely useless for any one of them. Only through your channels I can work it out. It's like a tin opener. We don't have a tin opener. We may be Hercules, you cannot open a tin. It's something like that, Alex, that you all are like tin openers for me. Very important that I have to have you very handy to work it out. It's only you can do it. I cannot do it. Moreover, my mood is such a horrid stuff that it recedes back. It's only you stick me to those people. It recedes back. These deities are another thing. They are such proud ones that they just can't bear it. They're oversensitive to all the feelings and ugliness. So you are the people who can bear and can witness and understand because they are your brethren. Supposing you were born realized, you would have been little less useful to you. Because born realized have this cynicism in them. Oh, what does it matter? Let them go. Who cares for that? They are different type. I'm a crazy man. They are different. It happens with them sometimes. That's why Joseph sometimes talks to the trees. You know why? Because you have been so different. From the very beginning.
Well, that's not just happened recently.
Because recently you are more confident and you find that so boring that you think you better go and talk to the tree.
I talk to other people as well. I do tell people that.
But I would say that, you see, it is a common experience of a person. Naturally, because, you see, if you are born like that, and all your life, I can quite understand. You see other people being crazy and mad, and you are called as crazy. Naturally, you see, you develop a kind of cynicism about it. But there should be a longing, an absolute feeling, a great concern for all those who are your brethren. I don't know if you can feel their pain. I can feel their wounds, and I can feel their hankering and their seeking and all their sincerity about it. They might have done wrong. I know they have gone to horrible gurus, they have done all kinds of things which are absolutely wrong and self-destroying. I agree there. But still, if it is your own child, you feel the concern till the end to save them. And the worse they are, the more you feel about it. That concern is to be felt within you, because you've got this joy. And it is you only who can give this to them. They have denied, so far, all the realized souls. And that's why the higher types, only very higher types could have that karuna, that compassion for them. And they thought, all right, let's fight them out. Doesn't matter. And some of the realized souls, whom I know, who are of a very high quality, they sit down with a big rod in their hand. Anybody comes to them, just sit on that. That's all. That's the only thing they can give. They just can't bear them. They say, we don't want to have anything to do with them. But you are different type. That's why a special race, as I say. That you are a special race created, which is realized concern, feeling that oneness. You feel that oneness. It's like one sari you feel. If few threads are caught up, all the threads are brought up. You just can't leave the rest of it. It's one part. The whole thing has to be brought in. How many seekers there are in this country? Have you any statistics? All of them are to be brought round. Can be done. If you have any problems, you ask. If you want to know anything, you have to tell you. Everything I will tell you. But don't waste your energies on something that won't be needed for your work. Anything that you ask, I would love to answer your questions and tell you. Because tomorrow you will be facing these problems. You will not know how to deal with them, how to answer. Not that important. Will I take it from it? Anything about Sahaja? Anything about Kundalini? Anything about it?
When you have friends and people and try to explain it, I'll try to make that all I want is scientific, you said it scientific fact, not scientific proof. It's very difficult when you come across people like that, who sort of, whom you know will benefit.
I'll tell you some of the scientific facts, you see. Now see, it depends on what you want to prove to them. Supposing you want to prove to them whether there is God or not. This is one fundamental question of the scientists. Of course now they are reaching somewhere there. They are themselves reaching now. You see, though beating here and there, they are reaching to that point. Because the other day I saw one gentleman describing all these antibodies and everything, and he had put on the head one cord also. He said, without this we cannot explain the rest of it. That's how he was going on. But depends on what question they are asking about what. To give them scientific thing. Now for example, if you have to say if there is God or not, there are on 2-3 points you can easily convince them that there is God. First of all, that this earth has seceded from the sun, say about 2 billion years at the most. And since then, the time that has been taken to form a human being has been very short, even to produce a cell according to law of chance. Now Regis knows what is law of chance. Law of chance is like this, that if you have say 50 white and 50 red pebbles in a jar, and if you disorganize them, and after complete disorganization you try to again organize them, that they become 50 again on top, white, and the 50 red below. It takes a particular number of shaking. Minimum of so much shaking has to be done. Suppose you call it X, you can call it X. Or you can call it any number like 6, 7, whatever it is. Alright, let us call it X. That X number of times you have to shake it. So even to get an amoeba, which is a living animal, which is an organized animal, is a unicellular animal, even to get that, if you calculate, will take much more time than 2 billion years. Even to do that. But to create this human being in such a short time, which is an impossibility according to law of chance, how it has been worked out is the question. When you cannot answer that question, that means there is some juggler who does the job. Now there is a juggler who knows how to do it in that short time. This is one of the very, very strong things which shows that the working of the nature has been so fast that it cannot explain scientifically how a human being so complicated has been created. That's one point, one very big point as far as the creation is concerned. There are so many other things like the way the earth is moving, the moon is moving, and everything is moving and controlled. And it is kept in such a way that human beings who are living on this speedily moving earth do not feel any speed or do not feel any sound. They are moving in this atmosphere, and how the atmosphere is also moving, the way it is done, needs a tremendous organization. It cannot be done by any human effort or by any chance. A chance cannot do all these things together. Then also we can say that the Mother Earth and all those things have such a balancing capacity. I mean, we do not want to see the miracles of life. They cannot explain, scientists, how of everything. See, supposing you watch a small little leaf under a microscope. What a beautiful pattern. And how it is managed. So the circulation of the water is properly done and is going from one end to another. Then the exposure to sun is in such a way that the suction of water goes on. It is such a fast one that in 1 minute the water can reach 60 feet. This cannot be done by any suction power as it can be done by this. Now they might say, yes, the reason is there is a hormone which works this way, that way. All right. But who has put the hormone there? Who controls the heights of different trees? For example, a rose cannot grow like a palm tree. Why not? A seed of mango give you a coconut by chance. It is never done. Why? How? Why there is gravity in the earth? There is no question science has answered so far. What they have done, now there's a chair, all right, take a chair, take out a part of it, see what it is. This is here, this is here, this is here, this is here. That's all. Supposing you come to this house, you see, yes, this house is here, these arches are there, this is built like this is built and made of this mortar, that happened. But how this house was built, when was it built, who built it, what is the purpose? These things are not answered. Science itself is very inadequate. Actually, it was unnecessary according to me. To go into science at all, there was no need at all to. You tell me one thing that was important. Somebody told me the other day we've got aeroplanes. We had aeroplanes in India at the time. How do you have condor as you have? Say there is a god, there is an Indian god, Vishnu. Just imagine, Vishnu, who visited our country on a condor. That's what our Indians tell us. Now what do you say to this? That is Garuda. We both were amazed at it. Now how did they come to? We also know in Africa they came to know about the star much before all your sciences developed. How did they know? From where did they get this knowledge? You can know each and everything about all these things by going to your supraconscious area. I told about Big Bang, I never knew about Big Bang. About 1970 I told them about Big Bang. Openly I didn't know there was a Big Bang theory you have already reached on. I told the whole universe was moving in a spiral. The other day they said as a discovery. It's in my book as well written down if you see that. Everything that you want to know, you can know through supraconscious area. Everything you can. But what happens when you are not absolutely free and absolutely developed? Then if you go to supraconscious area, what happens? That one of these devils can sit on you and can give you ideas. And that's how, when the people in Colombia used to take something like LSD, they got these ideas and they could go into supraconscious and see Vishnu visiting them. This is all supraconscious knowledge, you can get all that. About the hell now. What is the hell and what is in the subconscious area and what are the devils, you can know by going to that thing. It is not difficult. The other day I had an engineer from India, and the other fellow was saying that he gets into double bodies and his body goes out, and he says that I can see the boobs and everything. I've seen the dead spirits coming round, and I've seen this and I've seen that. He was explaining everything to me. I said, look at this. Whatever I told you about boobs, he was telling 10 times more about that. You can see. So that knowledge, you don't have to go to science for that. But moreover, science cannot tell you anything about boobs, it cannot tell you about supraconscious boobs. Otherwise it would have protected you. It has not. If it had protected you, I would have understood. But by science, you are not protected. You are not at all protected. You have created atomic bomb, very nice. I mean, nothing else could be created by human beings but atomic bomb. For a person like that, how do I feel about the intelligence and the wisdom of human beings to produce atomic bomb? But what has saved you is the fear of science. This is God's way. The atomic bomb that you have produced has put you down. Now, if you start any tricks, there are only certain switches. So the fear of science has brought this. But you need not tell a scientist that science has done like this because he get after you. You said science is very good, no doubt. We accept. But with science, what good it has happened? How to pamper a scientist, I tell you. I'll give you some tricks. You can say that by science, we realize that there are many things we cannot explain. One thing, in the body, we can say that anything foreign that goes in the body is thrown away. But when there is a fetus formation, it is neither thrown away nor it is destroyed. On the contrary, it is looked after, nurtured and thrown away at a time when it is absolutely ready to come out and face the world. Now, who does this job? Who controls your different heights? Then another thing is a very, very, very scientific thing to impress on them, I would say. There are two chemicals known as acetylcholine and adrenaline, which doctor knows and all the doctors know. The doctors say that the mode of action of these two chemicals in the human body we do not know. Because they may augment, means constrict, or they may relax. Now, how can it be? Supposing it is a chemical, it has to act as it is. Either it will augment or it would relax. But some places they augment and some places they relax. So what is the explanation for this? They say the mode of action of these chemicals in the human bodies cannot be explained. But we can explain that there are deities who are doing this job. So, you come so far that these are the hurdles. There are many like this. I mean, you can give so many arguments where they cannot explain how these things happen, how it works out. You take a little eye of a human being and you tell them to construct one like this, they can. So, you tell them these are the problems of the science. They cannot explain how it works out, how it cooperates with other things, how the nature's cycle works out, how the whole thing is so beautifully arranged. Like the leaves have to fall during winter time because the Mother Earth is to be nourished by the nitrogen. So the leaves have to fall down to nourish the Mother Earth. Then again, she nourishes them back. So the sun has to move on an axis in such a manner that there is a winter and there is a summer. By changing and variations of these things, only life can be produced and maintained. If it was a solid God sitting like a rock and a cold, complete no movement of any kind. There is no night nor day or anything. Nothing would have come. But the scientists, they think that God is like that. That's why they are confused. If they understand that He acts into every human being and into every particle. You can ask them, say, a sulfur dioxide molecule if you take. And if you see it through microscope, you can see it is pulsating. And some of the pulsations are isometric, some are symmetric. Just imagine in a molecule. And then these mesotones and all those, they act arbitrarily. How do you explain all these things? The 1,001 things one can tell about the scientists which they cannot explain. Sahaja Yoga can explain it by one shot, that there are deities within you. Now how do we prove it scientifically? There was a doctor who was suffering from cancer, who came to me. And he was an ardent Muslim. And I told him to take the name of Nanaka. He said, I would not. I can only take the name of Muhammad. I said, Muhammad himself is angry with you because you are such a fanatic. Because Muhammad was born as Nanaka. He said, no, I cannot take this name. All right, I said, go ahead. I said, all right, take the name of Dattatreya. He would not take it. He would not take the name of Moses. He said, I only know Muhammad. But then he got very much worse. Then he came to me. I said, now take the name of Dattatreya. You won't believe. He sat down and said, Mother, teach me how to do puja for Dattatreya. And he got much better. And much better. There was another gentleman who was a staunch Hindu. And if they are staunch, they are the worst. And I told him that he has to take the name of Muhammad. And he would not. He said, you are finishing my religion, and what are you doing? You are blasphemous, and all kinds of things he said to me. I said, all right. You can say whatever you want. After 1 year, he again reappeared in Delhi. And then I told him, now will you take the name of Muhammad Sahib and do some namaz? And he did it. And he's all right. See, if you understand the true nature of all the deities, you can cure people. You can awake. You have seen that only by taking the name of Mataji the other day. How many people can it come? You have seen it yourself. Now, if people are getting cured, say, they are getting all right by saying some name, what's the harm? You don't have to pay anything for that. Or do they prefer to die, martyrdom, but they will not take the name of God? See, this is stupidity. And if they are real scientists, they must keep an open mind. Otherwise, they are not scientists at all. You see, Avogadro's hypothesis they had, which was changed. He proved his laws. They have a hypothesis always, which is to be proved by laws. It was proved, but then they discarded it. Newton's laws are discarded today. They have to keep an open mind, otherwise they are not scientists. If they are open-minded, they can see for themselves. Now the only difference between a science and Sahaja Yoga is this, that Sahaja Yoga deals with the living vital force, while science deals with the dead. But scientifically you can show them the pulsation of the Kundalini at the base. With a stethoscope, they can feel at different levels the pulsation with their stethoscope when the Kundalini is rising. They can see the dilatation of the pupil. This is also a controversial problem for them. They don't know whether it is sympathetic or parasympathetic, but it is parasympathetic. Because the children, if you see, their eyes are dilated just like that. It is parasympathetic. When this thing is open, then their eyes are dilated. When it closes down, then only their eyes get constricted. Otherwise, you have seen children all the time looking like that, with big eyes and their dilated pupils. So this is a controversial point with them. They cannot decide still is this parasympathetic or sympathetic. But the dilatation of the pupil is so strong in some people. We have a Punjabi doctor, lady doctor. She came to me and I was trying on her and it would not work out. Then I told her maybe on your way you might get a realization. And while she was driving, for a while she couldn't see anything, so she took her car on one side. And she went there and she told me, is it that the pupils are very much dilated? Because as soon as I came in the hospital, the doctor said, what has happened? Your pupils are very much dilated. So she went and saw and she telephoned to me. I said, yes. And one boy, he had closed his eyes. And when he opened his eyes, he saw everything black and he got a fright. He said, I've become blind, mother. At second moment, he got. Now, by raising your hand, if you can dilate the pupil of somebody, there must be something about it. What more scientific thing you want? I mean, it is easy to make people dance and leave their clothes and become naked or say some mantras and things like that. But this is happening within yourself, you can see. You can also show a person has, say, liver trouble. You can immediately see that the liver point only the kundalini is going and pulsating and working out. If you see that, immediately you can say, he's suffering from liver. Here is the kundalini. And you give a little support from your hand there, you'll find that the kundalini finds its way up. Because she goes to the places where it is before. There are so many things you can see with your own eyes, and that is what science is. You can see the face of a person changing when this is working out. You make 2 photographs, one before, after, especially Marilyn. You see before realization and after that, every one of you should have a photograph of your earlier. And you see the difference in a person. The face in such a short time, his face you just see this after the puja today. I mean, the face changes so much that I do not recognize them. I said, have you come for the first time? She's so much changed if you see her. Do people remark that? No? Well, you are. Very much. The complexion becomes radiant. And the face looks so relaxed. And the serenity comes on it. It is something surprising sometimes happens. The other day, I had gone with one of these Sharada to a program, to a reception. And there a lady met me, and afterwards, and I told her she's a very good singer and this and that. And so she met me and she said, where is your sister? Where is she gone? I said, which one? The one who used to sing very well. I said, which one? And she said, oh, she had come. I said, she's not my sister, she's my disciple. Oh, but you know what light was common between you? Of course she was. You only have a solution. You spelt it, huh? Then what I did, I started singing myself to save myself from the flow. So, but I'm sure today many must have got realization. Not just everything. So when Hilal, you told me about this Mukta, I was really frightened. So you better meet him soon. I did lose time. You are coming to normal now. I feel much better. Much better. Yeah. Much better. How do you good food to you? You have a very small and short ceremony. Very interesting. Did you listen to the tape I gave about this? Did you follow the Granthi business?
Granthi.
Granthi. The two were asking which are these in between things. And I told the 9 chakras, apart from the 2, that is Chandra and Surya. That also have given the names of them.
It was very powerful because to hear you say the Bija mantra, I said merely to hear you say the Bija mantra has put a lot of people into it.
Must be. But you see, it was done when Anand was shouting from one side and Aradhana was coming from another side, and I thought it would never be done. Then this, when he came, we were trying to search it in another tape. It has to be in the hubbub of life, because if you have to seek every time, the loneliness we cannot. And it so happens that loneliness we can be for a while, we can be away from there, but we have to face that hubbub all the time. So when you can retain it in that hubbub, then we should know that we are definitely something. Otherwise, like a ship which is standing in the sail, in the dry docks, and people are repairing it. So it may look very nice and perfectly all right, but once it faces the sea, then only you will know whether it is correct or not. In the same way, every one of us have to go back to the same hubbub, and we have to face the same life and the same thing to find out how far we are in Sahaja Yoga. Are we really there or not? Have we really achieved something or not? Because here nature helps you, you are so much secluded and you reach a certain ascent. But if the property is completely built in you, then wherever you are, you can see that. You can feel that inside, that silence all the time, wherever you may be. But this is a very good idea. Come here, build up yourself and then go and face them. Again come here and build up yourself and go and face them. After some time, you will become like temples. Those will come in your company will be. They will seek your company for comfort. That's going to happen. With cinnamon. Both are just the same. Yeah. That's all. Just tell me what have you talked and what has happened and what have they feeling and what have they got it out of this sadhana.
You'll take very hard to follow. The daily recording sound it wasn't, I think it was more advanced. That's a bit like English and something like that. We could maybe understand it.
They could not understand that.
I think there was maybe a lot of people didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
But that is not to be understood so much as to be felt.
I think it was a tape for vibration, not for understanding, because I didn't understand either.
I was just wondering, was it?
Yes, but still, it is to be mastered, that thing.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I thought that was
It will take some time for you to master those sounds. Now, what you have to do is to have a paper and pencil in your diary. And in that you should write down all those sounds which are on different chakras. I didn't see that. So once you write down all those sounds, at least you can use them whenever there is a problem on a chakra. Now, in case you meet somebody, you see, who is telling you, this is the mantra I have taken, this is the mantra I have taken, then you can always explain that, you see, these are the Bij mantras actually. These are the real mantras. Then there could be mantras like other deities' names are there. And there could be mantras according to the three gunas, as we call them, the three channels. There are different mantras for that. But this kind of a mantra has no meaning. Because when the Kundalini moves, her movement gives these sounds. So for anybody to have one mantra and sit down on that has no meaning. Why don't you ask your Guru why this particular mantra has been given to you? There must be some reason. By telling this, one thing is clear to him, that you understand what is given to you. It's not just giving to somebody, Bala, come along now, say this mantra. It's not that. But they will understand that there is something behind. It is not just blindly said that, all right, this is as Alex has said that this is a toothpaste, come along, use this toothpaste and then you'll be all right. It's not like that. You not only understand that what is the mantra, how it works, where it is created, and what are the diseases, and what are the problems, and where to use them. All this knowledge, if you give them, you see, they will also understand that so much you know about it. Otherwise, most of these gurus, I talked to one teacher of one of these things. And I was amazed. He didn't know anything about anything whatsoever. I said, what do you do? He said, nothing. I just close my eyes and I get some names in my head and I tell the fellow that this is the name you have to take. I said, how do you get it? From where do you get it? Why do you get it? Now you all know what it is. You know it is the spirit which comes at time. And one spirit telling another this thing. Oh, this is all very nicely managed. You see, it's all secret work going on and the man who is working it out doesn't know how it works. So when you talk to people, you can explain in such a way that other person can understand that this man knows actually what he's doing. So little bit you have to master it and understand it, what are the mantras and etc. This is for people who have to deal with other people and those who want to go into details of every chakra. But for raising Kundalini, you have to just raise your hand. Don't you have to bother. But the world is such, unless and until you talk big, something sensible, people are not going to believe in your hand moving. They say, what are you doing like this? And why do you move your hands like this? And why do you do like that? They are going to ask questions. They are going to. It's a human nature not to accept things, you see. Especially reality, they do not want to accept. If it is some rumble-tumble, somehow it sticks to men, human beings, falsehood much faster than reality. That's why all real gurus, all real incarnations have only suffered in life. They never had any support from general public or anyone. But all false people have such publicity. One of the horrible ones who visited Delhi, and there was no movement in the traffic. God knows how many of them were just trying to see his horrible face. Like mad, all of them were running. And what did they get? God alone knows what did they get. Some of the rich people did get some diamonds, this, that. But they lost so many of their diamonds. But that is what human nature is. And when you have to talk to them so clearly, it shocks them. It really shocks them too. If you tell something against a guru or someone, they get a shock. Not because they are convinced about the guru, no, not because of that, but because they are possessed by the guru. So if you tell them that this is wrong, you should not have done it. You have to tell them there is no compromise with the truth. Whatever is wrong is wrong, whatever is poison is poison. You have to say that, but if you tell somebody, they get a shock and they don't like it, they just don't want to hear about it. It shocks them. Then secondly, when they come to their senses, another shock that comes to them, they think, oh, we have to be fools. This also goes against Sahaja Yoga, because if you start picking yourself and sort of cursing yourself for it, then you are also not good for something. That's the second point that comes in. So for human psychology, it is necessary that you should be able to talk about it. But when you will talk, I can assure you, you can relax only while you talk. Because now you are awake. All your chakras are awakened. This is an awakened, and this has the power of awakening everything. This is the all-pervading power which is being awakened in you. And then by talking to others, you awaken their powers which are still not awakened. So when you talk to them also, if you do not have left Vishuddhi, of course, left Vishuddhi is a very dangerous thing, that's all. Because from left Vishuddhi, the ideas start coming up, and you just get mixed up with that, and then you do not speak, but the devil there sitting is doing it. But if your left Vishuddhi is very clear, and then you talk, you will be amazed that every word will be a mantra. This is granted. It is such a fantastic thing, this Sahaja Yoga, that people are not willing to believe in themselves and to their powers. It's such a tremendous power. If you want to use it, you start off. Just start off, and you'll be amazed how it works. Bala has tried it and asked. He must be very much stunned in the beginning. How it's happening, isn't it? How it's rising. It's very astounding. But gradually you realize it. And there are so many experiences you'll be having that you will be amazed at it. Because this is something that is the dynamic force of the whole universe, which is so all-pervading. Is the Ganesha Tattva, as you call it, the principle itself. It is all-pervading. We think Christ means somebody who died on the cross. No, it is absolutely wrong idea. That cross exists in everything, in every particle of this, you can say this building, whatever it is made of. It is in every particle of the whole universe that is made of. Not even a particle is devoid. Only thing it is to be awakened. That principle. And that you can do it because you have that now in your sound. Your own sound is now awake. But as you know, even if you say, put light to this candle, the candle is ready. If it is perfectly on white, then it is enlightened without it. But still, your candle should be also on white. You should be able to go to the right position for that candle so that it receives the light. All these things are very important, though it is certainly managed by the angels that are surrounding you. You have seen, you do your awakening in every way. I mean, you just move your hand. Sometimes I've seen some people go mad like this, some do like this, in every way that is possible. You do not even know exactly how it should be done, which is the protocol, how to manage it, how to do it, but still it works out. The reason there are angels with you. And they put it right, all right, doesn't matter. These are children, they have done it, doesn't matter. They work it out. And they are working it out all the time for you. You don't have to bother. You just have to raise your hand, that's all, because you are on the stage. So they want to show that these children are doing the job. And they help you, all right, with you. They are in the background. They are working it out. But you raise your hand at least. Speak about it at least. That's all is to be done. But you see, this falsehood of I say you are called as Bhuganand and Vishnand and all that, wear this kind of a dress and all that, or sort of thing, saying that you are a teacher from tomorrow. All these false sort of circus should not be taken in a way that others are doing. We have to keep away from all falsehood. From the very beginning, we must remember that there is no falsehood about it. Only you raise your hands and the Kundalini will rise. Whether you are wearing a white dress or a black dress or a yellow dress makes no difference. Whether you are standing this way or that way doesn't matter. Whether you are sitting this way or that way doesn't matter. Because you are still children. And everything is excused to you. You just do it the way you like, it will work out. That's there is no ritual about it, nothing. What is the ritual for the children? You get them on the stage. See, we had once planned a drama. It was a dance drama of children, very small children, say from 3 years to 6 years of age, very sweet children. And they were supposed to do this dance drama. And the subject was unity in diversity. All Indians, you see, all kinds of Indian dresses they were wearing, and from the north to the south, all kinds of dresses that they came on the stage. Very sweetly, all of them, managing among themselves very nicely. And they brought out such beautiful harmony and such beautiful mood that even if you are trained about, say, for a year or so to some very developed people, it would never have brought that beauty. The way they arrange with small little hands, and you see pinching at others do now, and you do this now, and you have to do this, and arranging among themselves. So beautifully they did. Our Prime Minister that time, Lal Bahadur Shastri, was there. And he was so much enamored. He said, I've never seen such a beautiful drama all my life, the way I've seen it. And the way they were dancing, and making mistakes, but trying to correct it, and beautifully. They seldom made any mistakes because whatever they did was so beautiful. But when you start thinking you're very big, and how can we do it? You see, it won't be nice if you do it this way, it will happen. Then there you go wrong. Like children, if you take it out, you see, you have seen my grandchildren, how bold they are. They are not bothered. Today only they were giving a big lecture there. Anand was telling that these people who are not getting any cool breeze come along on the feet of Mataji. He told my husband off. He said, you have to come on her feet, otherwise you cannot be all right. He said, you come on her feet and I will sit on you. So they are like that. And they do not mean any harm, or they do not know how to hurt people. They never hurt. They never hurt people. But you see, the thing is, they are so simple and so innocent that you can learn lots of things from them very easily, the way they do things, in their simplicity and innocence. Like a child, you see, he was sitting next to someone who was a guest of honor, and he was eating. So he looked at him all the time. And he said, no, mother, he doesn't eat like a horse. You told me he eats like a horse. And the mother didn't know what to say, see. So she said, no, so the other fellow realized that he must be eating really like a horse, and it is one. He said, right there. So that's how they are. They do not mean to hurt anyone. And truth should never hurt you. Should not, because it is a correct thing. You see, whatever is pleasing can be poisonous also. Can be very harmful. It need not be pleasing to you because whatever mood you are, it depends. For, say, a drunkard, if you give him a nice drink, you see, he will be very happy. But to a Sahaja Yogi, if you give him a drink, he would not like it. So, if you tell somebody that this is not correct, so he feels hurt, he feels so good. They do not know how to handle me the way they have said it, and all this is wrong and all that is wrong, and why should they force things on me? This is how they try to show that they didn't like it, their resentment is there. Sometimes they can be very wild with you. Then, like your mother, you must coat it with little chocolate. I'll give it to them because they have to have this medicine. They have to have a real purgatory, as you can call it. They have to get rid of all this. Because whatever is wrong is wrong. Now you might say that whole society is like that, but the whole society is there. If they are wrong, they are wrong. What to do? They have to be told. And this knowledge also, how to communicate and convey, can come to you if you are like children. Just tell them. You see, I don't know in this country, but in our country, you see, about, say, 20 years back or 30 years back, we had our old people who used to tell just on the face. And nobody minded it, you see. Instead of when you come to see me, you see, how are you, Shilu, you are very good, this, that. And when you go away, I tell them, oh, this God is a horrid thing. She's done this, she's like this, she's like that. When you come, oh, you are very nice. Then, instead of that, it's better that I tell you. But people have to do that sometimes because people do not take it. Whatever it is, you have to break through these things to them in such a way that they realize that this was wrong. Not for them, for their body or for their mind or for their emotional life. But not for them, because whatever they are spirits. And spirits means something that is eternal. That cannot be destroyed. That cannot be spoiled. But the clouds that are covering the sun are to be removed for them to see their own beauty. Those who do not do this may be appreciated much more. Now there are so many gurus who say, go ahead with your culture, you see. This is your culture. I mean, imagine to say that this is your culture itself is a very bad thing. And they say, you go ahead with it. But only thing, you give your purse to me and I will look after you. Where are they going to look after you? When they will be standing in the deep down cave of some horrible, hellish place, then you are also, you will find you will be at a higher place at least than you are there. And where are they going to help you to pull you down more? But it is necessary that we have to build up ourselves fully in Sahaja Yoga. Absolutely do.
Are there spirits in trees and things like that? And, because I had some funny experiences of sort of, I'm not sure whether this is right or wrong, of talking to trees and flowers, bulbs, and they answered me back, and I thought that, well, I didn't know what to make of it. It confused me.
The most important and the most beautiful creation in this world is a human being. What is a tree? Thousands of them can be. Human being is the most beautiful. You see, trees look beautiful, they appear beautiful, but they have no awareness of it. That they cannot receive this awareness of realization. So, why waste energy with them? I'm just telling you that. I know you can get bored with human beings sometimes. Yes, it can be. You see, it sometimes can be very disgusting the way things are. Or you can be very annoyed. You do get annoyed. Agree. But you must know that if you have little patience with them and if you try, the beauty that you will see in them is the real joy to you. Yes, you have felt it. When somebody gets realization and you are feeling the vibrations coming in, I like to see the faces of everyone. You see, so enlightened. And I think some light has come into them. So, thank God. Oh, the creation and the whole thing is, of course, God's own pride, and it's a beautiful thing, no doubt. Nothing like human beings. You see, after all, it's a diamond. Say badly cut or blue cut. Whatever it is, diamond will remain a diamond. You must give it the proper luster. Make it fit into a proper setting. And then you will be proper. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of them which every individual knows. So just make a list of the diamonds you want to work with. The mind should be, the attention should be more on this. How many human beings we are going to bring to this? Now also self-examination should be there for all those who want to propagate Sahaja, to find out what's lacking in us. Why don't we impress others? Why do the people do not come to us? After all, these gurus haven't got even their Kundalini awakened. And they are the people who have thousands of disciples. How do they get it? There are so many in this country itself, who are really very genuine, real people. They are absolutely suited for Sahaja. They have read and they have followed and they have gone into it, they have been seeking, no doubt. And they have fallen into wrong paths also. But still they are doubting. If you see any one of them, there is a doubt in them. And if you talk with that confidence, no, we've definitely found it. This is the answer to the question. Then you can impress. But if you yourself, you are sort of not sure, you need not be aggressive about it. But just be firm on your finding. They are bound to be impressed. Of course, it is a living force and it takes time. So I would say it's nice to talk to trees sometimes. See, I do sometimes. I talk to even some walls. I feel sometimes I'm talking to some wall.
The radiation came.
Huh?
This place has the vibrations.
I know. I'm going to make you sleep very well tonight. I'm just singing a lullaby.
You didn't sleep very well last night.
Huh? You slept very well?
No,
Terrible night.
Not all.
we hardly slept at all.
Oh, what was that?
Awful
Terrible, actually, I was
vibrations.
ashamed. Yeah, that's right.
Really?
Yeah.